Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Wins. We are along Ryouma Sakamoto's route. We just had a nice little meeting with him, and now it's evening, but it says just around the time I had my meeting with Sakamoto, so I'm not sure if they mean around the time I was getting back or what. Let's see. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Just around the time I had my meeting with Sakamoto, the Shinsengumi had received official orders from the shogunate to guard the notice board that was vandalized by the Sanjo-Hashi Bridge. Harada, so they were talking about earlier. Harada, who was guarding the notice board on the night of, had arrested the culprits. However, there supposedly was a woman who'd caused trouble for him. According to Harada, that person looked just like me, but thanks to the numerous men who'd vouched for me, corroborating the story that I'd been elsewhere, no one actually suspected me, but still, the thought of someone else out there who shared my appearance left me disturbed. Which really, even the very first time I played this, I was like, they should have thought of Kaoru. Everybody should have thought of that. Everybody who'd seen Kaoru. It was the year end of 1866. Lord Yoshinobu had inherited the position of shogun, Iemochi, who passed away in the summer, and had been appointed the 15th shogun. Only 20 days after Lord Yoshinobu had been officially inaugurated as the new shogun, the emperor suddenly passed away. It was especially hard on the emperor's younger sister, Kazunomiya, who had been married to Lord Iemochi and was intended to be a symbol of imperial unification. But everyone on both sides was shocked by his death. He was succeeded by the imperial prince, a young boy of only 15 years. In the turmoil, the activities of the Choshu domain went uninvestigated. The entire country of Japan found itself thrust into rapid motion. April 1867. Chapter 4. So one more chapter until we get to Sakamoto's exclusive route. I get to do a little bit more skipping. And this time I have to be worried about the soldiers again, so nothing new there. And then someone close to the people who were leaving, which will probably be Harada or Nagakura. Perhaps it would be best for me to talk to someone who was close to Heisuke and Saito. I'd only known them since I'd come to Kyoto, and their departure was making me miserable. The rest of the Shinsengumi had known them for much longer. How were those closest to them feeling? Speak of the devil! As I was trying to think of who to talk to first, Nagakura and Harada walked out of the common room.
Hey, sorry you had to go through all that last night, Chizuru. You're feeling well enough to be up, huh?
Yes, I'm alright.
So, how's your injury? It was pretty deep, no?
Well, it wasn't as deep as it originally seemed. I'm sure it'll heal soon, with my super healing powers.
Well, that's good to know. I don't think any of us could go on living with ourselves knowing we seriously injured a woman.
You didn't do it. The genuine concern on their faces warmed my heart. They were good men. All of the captains were good men, which only made it that much more heartbreaking that some of them were leaving us.
So we have to kill one of our own guys. And if Ito finds out about the Corps, I gotta say, I've had better nights.
About Ito. How do you guys feel about Heisuke and Saito? About them leaving, I mean.
Oh, that. For starters, I didn't expect Heisuke to be so insensitive about everything. Heisuke didn't tell us crap. I'm gonna kill that little bastard. Well, I'm sure he's not just doing it on a whim. If this was his decision, there's not really a whole lot we can do about it, is there? There's no point in us bitching. You sure as hell don't have any tolerance. By the way, how do you feel about Kondo these days, Chizuru?
Kondo? What do you mean? Kondo didn't seem any different to me than he had the first day I'd met him.
You don't think he's gotten a little arrogant lately? I don't know if it's because he started to hang with the big guns on the shogunate side. And he was too easy on Ito and his buddies. Why do you think they're so high and mighty now?
Do you disagree with the chief and the commander?
No, not exactly. Anyway, I'm glad to see Ito out of here. He pissed me off.
Me too.
Still, I'm pretty sure it's just a matter of time before we end up crossing swords with him. Ito and his cronies, I mean.
Huh? Harada's words struck me as unpleasantly prescient, although I didn't know why. Crossing swords, but why?
There's no knowing where Ito will go running to find financial backing for his troop as of now. But as they want their ties with the Imperial Nationalist Party... But if they want their ties with the Imperial Nationalist Party, then the title of the former Shinsengumi men is only going to be a hindrance.
What will you do if we have to fight them?
Well, if they're our enemy, then I'll have to kill them. That's the duty of the Shinsengumi. It's probably what Hijikata would say.
Nagakura scratched his head out of frustration.
Honestly though, if we do have to fight them, eventually... Yeah, we can't treat them like any other rogue ronin. I really don't know if I could do it.
Right. Their voices had faded to little more than a murmur. I couldn't ask anymore. I'm skipping. Another spring had come and gone. Perhaps it was because the rainy season came rather early this year, but the sky shined a radiant blue above, rather than the usual gray haze. I think this is all of it. A clear day was a rare occurrence this time of year, so I was doing some of the laundry that had been piling up. Between the warriors' uniforms, the collars for their kimonos, and the undershirts, the socks, and the handkerchiefs, there was a massive load. Jeez. Am I doing all this by myself? Hanging all the articles of clothing was exhausting because of their sheer volume. Yeah, nobody's helping me. I had hoped that I could be close to finishing it all by the time lunch rolled around. Just then.
Damn it, whose bright idea was it to move during a time when there weren't many warriors to go around? Dude, how many times are you gonna bitch about this? Come on, though. We're on rounds from morning till night. We also gotta train the newbie warriors. Jeez, they're working us to the bone here. If only the new warriors were half as useful as us, then we'd be good, but...
Listening nearby were Soma and Nomura, who were wincing from Nagakura's tirade. Oh, I haven't heard of those guys in a while. You guys have been conspicuously absent. Sorry, Nagakura. Is there anything we could help with? We'll do anything.
You dummies. If you were any useful, then you'd be the one we'd be working to the ground. I'm sorry, I'll work harder. Don't take it personally. Shinpachi is just a little cranky, so he's taking it out on everyone else. And Shinpachi has no retort.
It looked to me as though the men were exhausted with the increased responsibilities that came as a result of the Ito faction's departure. Harada looked at me.
Oh, you're doing laundry? Want me to help?
Aw, that's so sweet of you to offer. No, I'm almost finished, so I'm fine.
Seriously though, Soma and Nomura, you guys are such bird brains. This is when you chime in and say, hey, let me help. I'm sorry. I'll be right there. Me too.
No, seriously, I'm alright. Should have done it earlier, guys. Thanks to the help of Soma and Nomura, I was able to finish doing the laundry way faster than I had anticipated, but ever since Saito and Heisuke left, I noticed Nagakura and Harada looking more glum lately. It also seemed as if Okita's health was worsening as well. What was going to become of all of us? There was no one left in the compounds, and it looked so spacious in its emptiness. I let out a sigh. No point in being depressed. I was sure that the captains had been feeling even worse about it than I did. I wanted to improve my mood, so I took a deep breath when...
Hey! Chizuru, you here? It's me, Ryouma Sakamoto.
Just who I needed to cheer me up. Huh? That voice, could it be... But there's no way he'd be here.
Hey, you there. You're suspicious. Do you know where you are? You can't just walk in here. It's all good. I'm sure my pretty voice was enough to let them know I'm here. They'll be out in no time.
Oh god. Sakamoto? I caught sight of his flowy hair. It was him. But what was he doing here? To see you, Chizuru. As I recall what happened the last time he visited the compounds, I began to panic.
Yukimura, you know this man?
Yeah, kinda.
Our relationship can't be described with one word, right, Chizuru?
Stop saying things like that. You'll give off the wrong impression. Anyways, what are you doing here? Did you have business with the warriors?
Nope. Had some business in Kyoto, so I wanted to pop in and greet ya. But can't talk here. Want to go outside and talk?
Oh. He grabbed me by the arm and tried to lead the both of us outside the compounds. Wait, I can't go up by myself. However, Sakamoto paid my words no heed, and he turned to face Soma.
Gonna borrow her for a sec. Be a dear and tell Hijikata we'll be right back. Huh? Alrighty, let's go, Chizuru.
Wait, Sakamoto, I really can't. Too late. I can't resist him, and he took me out of the Nishihonwanji temple. It's not my fault. What? We're not just standing outside the gate, we're actually walking around town? Big trouble. Shortly after, I found myself taking a leisurely stroll through the town of Kyoto with him. Sakamoto, I think we should go back. I'll get in trouble later.
It's all good. We'll get in trouble together.
That's no better at all. Ugh.
And they won't give you a hard time if you manage to get some useful information from me, yeah?
Well, that may be true, but that's not enough of a reason for me to leave the compounds without a word. Well, there was a word. We told Soma to go tell Hijikata. Sakamoto laughed, his whole body shaking heavily.
You know, being angry kind of suits you. More than when you have that sad look on your face.
I felt my heart pound as his eyes thinned. Being told that I look better when I'm angry, and also you putting down my sad face, doesn't make me happier. I felt myself blushing and looked away.
It looks like it, huh? Well, whatever face you have on, it's adorable.
Like I said! Whenever I spend time with Sakamoto, I find myself drawn into his wit and candor. There was no way I could keep my composure. Eventually, we passed by a shop which caught Sakamoto's eye.
Oh, it's a hairpin. Want me to get it for you?
No.
Don't be shy. I think it'll look good on you, see?
Sakamoto reached for a beautiful dragonfly hairpin, and he placed it gently into my hair.
Woohoo, looking good. Gotta say, I'm impressed with my taste.
Oh, this man. Quite the narcissist. His tendency to compliment me with his warm, charming voice never failed to make my heart skip a beat. Even if you bought it for me, I couldn't just bring it back to the compounds. Sakamoto stared deeply into my eyes, and I caught my own reflection from looking into his. And then...
Oh, right. Forcing a girl like you to wear a man's getup, keeping you chained like some bird. Those Shinsengumi boys are messed up.
Oh. He returned the hairpin to its original place, and we continued walking. Why couldn't I keep the hairpin? I couldn't wear it, but I could keep it.
Hey, anywhere you want to go in particular? I mean, we're already out. Might as well see everything you wanna.
No, Stop worrying about me. How about you? Are you alright? I hear that many people are after you.
I'll be fine. After all, Japan needs me. I'm sure my country wouldn't let me go before I was needed.
You have no idea what you're saying. Ugh. Although I didn't agree totally with what he said, I was thinking about how he had survived back at the Tarada Inn. It did really seem like he was born for something special, possessing an extraordinary sense of luck that made him invincible. Maybe Sakamoto was rubbing off on me. It felt quite strange to think about him like this. After doing some sightseeing in Kyoto, we made our way back to the Kamo River for a break.
This ain't a bad-looking river, but I still prefer the ocean.
I like that background with him. It suits him. Have you ever lived near the ocean, Sakamoto?
Yep, born in Tosa. I almost wanted to say I spent more time swimming in the ocean than I did walking on land.
That can't be true, right? I heard you had siblings. What kind of people are they?
Huh. Lost my parents at a young age. So my older brother and sister were like my folks, basically. My older sister's name is Otome, 3 years older. Man, what a gal. She could read, write, fence, do it all. She taught me a lot.
Wow, she's talented. Wow.
On a side note, what do you think my oldest sister's name is?
Huh? How would I know?
Aw, come on, don't be like that. Think a little. Or are you not that interested in me?
It's not like that. I seriously had no idea what his sister's name could have been. Could it be Chizuru? Is her name at all like yours?
Wrong. Guess again.
Then I really don't know. I don't think it's something I could figure out by just thinking about it.
Guess you got a point. Okay, I'll tell you then. My oldest sister's name is Chizuru.
I knew it! Really? Wow, what a coincidence.
Right? It can't just be a coincidence. It might mean we're soulmates.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. Sakamoto continued to talk excitedly about his life in the Tosa and about his family. He looked as though he had so much fun telling me the stories. I really got the sense of how strongly he felt connected to his family and to his people. But you've left your domain, right? If you love your hometown that much, doesn't it hurt you not to return? As Sakamoto looked at me before responding, I could see the conflict resting in his heart through his eyes. Oh, pardon me. That's none of my business. I'm sorry. He quietly shifted his gaze toward the flow of the river.
Well, it's not that I hate the Tosa. They just have so many dumb rules.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Rules? Then he moved his line of sight toward the sky, as if counting himself with the rest of the stars.
I was born a country samurai. Tosa samurai fall into one of two categories, a country samurai or high-ranking retainer. If you're a country samurai, you can't wear socks. No matter how hard it rains, you can't wear shoes either. Nor a parasol for the hotter days.
What the hell? Why do they do that?
It's all because our ancestors were the enemies of the Tokugawa during the Battle of Sekigahara. So, all because of my ancestors, who I've never even met and who did stuff over 260 years ago, were treated like nothing. What a damn shame, huh?
You have a point. I could only nod in response. Of course, if you challenge someone to war and lose, you're going to be punished accordingly, but after 260 years, where is the line drawn? Why continue to let people suffer? Is it really worth it to make descendants of your enemies, people who were years removed from being evolved, suffer forever? No, it's not right. I think in the past, you said something like how a Mori shogunate or Shimazu shogunate could do everything the Tokugawa can. Then what kind of world are you striving for, Sakamoto? His smile shaped into a stoic expression, and he gazed into my eyes.
I want to change the world. No more rotten samurai to prey on the weak. No more people taking advantage of the starving or the destitute.
I gulped. In our government, it was customary for samurai of the shogunate's clan or the Hatamoto to promote and educate from within. There was no way people unfamiliar with the system could easily assume those positions. But Sakamoto spoke as if it could easily be done.
Isn't it all wrong? No matter how useless someone could be, if they were born into a good family, then their promotion is all but guaranteed. In America, a country located far beyond the seas, I hear that people can vote for who they think is fit to become lord of their country.
Vote? Who votes for them?
Warriors, farmers, civilians. They all got one bid each, and supposedly all you have to do is write down the name of the person they want to make their lord. And all the chosen officials have this thing called a congress, and they make decisions about their country after holding discussions.
All that he said was so different from Japan. I stood in awe hearing all the things he said about how the West governs things, something beyond my imagination. Could you really do such a thing? In Japan?
We can. Westerners, Japanese. At the end of the day, we're all the same. I told you that before.
But Japan currently has all these predicaments. You know, like the shogun, imperial court, feudal lords. I think it's good that they work as a group to make decisions and discuss issues, but could something like that really happen here? I don't know. However, Sakamoto seemed nonplussed about my question, and he responded with confidence.
It's not impossible. You just gotta do the same thing as Commodore Perry when he came here.
What did he mean? Using the black ships, or using weapons and threats to force people to listen?
The shogunate ain't dumb either. If they find out that the Satsuma and Choshu are gaining in power, they won't be able to ignore it. A weapon alone can't win a war, but it can be used to negotiate with your enemies. I don't want to start a war. I just want to get rid of the shogunate and create a world that is fair and just.
I didn't know how to respond, and I looked down. Sakamoto had claimed that he didn't want to start a war, but depending on how the shogunate responds to his actions, a war could just as easily erupt. But even if if what Sakamoto aspires for comes into fruition. Could we really create a world where there's no such thing as a shogunate, or even the samurai? Just then...
Oh, there you are, Sakamoto. I was looking for you. You need to come back soon.
Oh, jeez. What are you doing with my man, Kaoru?
Oh, you're...
Kaoru? You're Sakamoto's acquaintance?
Yes, we're both from Tosa. Well, yeah. That's all we got in common.
Haven't you noticed she looks a little like someone?
Oh, that's all? How sad of you to say.
Sakamoto's dismissal of Kaoru made my stomach turn from the awkwardness of his response. How could they be connected? I suppose it was really none of my business to ask. However...
Just to be clear, it's not what you think. She's kinda a detective or something.
I see. His reassurance made me feel a little more at ease, but I don't know why I had felt that way at all. Oh, you silly girl.
You know, seeing the two of you next to each other, you kinda look alike. In more ways than one.
Really? Okita had said something similar before as well. Do Kaoru and I really look alike?
So good with words as always, Sakamoto. You keep saying all these things. Yukimura, I suggest you be careful. Sakamoto is a man of the sea. I hear he has a woman in various ports all over. I also hear he's quite popular with the women of Gion as well.
Oh, really?
Hey, come on. Stop leading her on like that. I don't have time to woo women. Besides, girls at Gion, they're all paid to give me compliments. Well, rumor has it that your popularity isn't just with the women. You are even kind to the Satsuma and Choshu, both of whom are enemies of the shogunate. You're known to be especially close to Takasugi from the Choshu, who's known to be a ruffian. Don't you think that Yukimura here would find all of this hard to stomach? What with her association with the Shinsengumi and all? Well, she already knows that I've been connected to the Choshu. Doesn't come as a surprise to her, right?
Well, yes.
Oh, yeah. Come to think of it, didn't you run into some trouble with the Kishu domain and swindle them out of a large sum of money? The Kishu Tokugawa clan, who are one of the 3 big Tokugawa clans, are quite angry with you.
One of the 3 big Tokugawa clans?
Hey, they were having some boating problems. Didn't run into any trouble. I just accepted their apology money. Nothing illegal there. According to the rumors, you used the Tosa and sent a petition to the shogunate. That was you, right? Supposedly, you wrote the Lord Yoshinobu and suggested that he step down as shogun or something like that. Word is getting around, and you are becoming quite unpopular around the shogunate. My, you sure are a courageous man. Great detective work there. You sure dug up a lot.
If Sakamoto wasn't denying everything Kaoru said, then was everything she said true? I never really thought about it until now. Was Sakamoto really the illustrious man that I thought he was? Eventually, Kaoru asked a hushed question.
So, what do you think of Sakamoto?
I still think he's hot. I think he's a good person deep down.
A good person?
Yes, his attitude and speech may be gruff, but he always looks out for me, and he does his best when I'm in need and cheers me up. He's a bold man, so sometimes he can get off on the wrong foot with people, but deep down I think he's a good person. As I told her how I felt, Kaoru sighed heavily, and she was annoyed by my response.
He's deceived you, Yukimura. She's just got some good insight. Wish she'd say good man rather than good person, though. Anyways, Yukimura, we'll be on our way now.
Okay, goodbye.
As much as I want to take you back to Nishihongonji Temple, I don't think she'll let me.
I don't think they'd be too happy about you coming either. Then Sakamoto shouted,
Oi! Whoever's keeping watch over there, I'm leaving it to you.
Ah, so I have had company. In response, a rustle came from behind the embankment.
Alright, later, Chizuru. Don't know when I'll see you again, but take care, yeah?
Oh, okay. I'll miss you. Oh! I nodded, and suddenly Sakamoto had placed his arm around my neck. Hey, what are you doing? Sakamoto! I panicked, pushing his arms away from me.
Be careful around her.
I looked in the direction to which his chin was pointing, and I saw Kaoru. And then...
And, no matter what happens to the shogunate, don't be too hard on me, yeah?
You mean... I wanted to ask him to clarify what he'd meant by that, but Sakamoto took Kaoru away, and they left the Kamo River. What did he mean? Does it mean that war will come soon?
Yukimura, let's head back to the compounds. Yukimura?
Oh, sorry. I seem to have been caught in a daze.
You feel sick? Maybe we should rest.
No, I'm fine. Let's head back to the compounds.
Alright, then let's go.
My heart was heavy with worry, and the ache lingering for a few moments longer. It wasn't something I could tell others, much less the warriors, though. So I spent the next few days in deep reflection, and it was difficult to shake my concerns. And more skipping. And this time we say no because, well, she's asking if we were standing here for a guy. But no, this time the guy we want is not with the Shinsengumi. No, it's not that. I'm confused. All this time I thought I was human. My ability to heal had been a little strange, perhaps, but I never thought that it meant I wasn't even human. Or perhaps I just never allowed myself to think that. To try and hide my condition made me lonely enough. If I had allowed myself to believe I wasn't human, then it would have driven me even further away. I understand, but now is not the time for that sort of angst, dear. You are a demon, and that is a fact neither you nor I can change. But none of this makes any sense. Not only am I a demon, but I'm the last survivor of some big demon clan. It's all just... Ah, I see. For a moment she looked suddenly lonely. Well, if you do not wish to go, I cannot force you. I'm sorry, it's not that I don't trust you or anything, Sen. Could you just give me some time to think? I wanted to find Father and ask him if what she told me was the truth. Maybe then I can accept the fact that I'm a demon. But you've already been looking for your father for a long time. And now we have to go outside. They're after me. If I go outside of the compounds, then I won't cause any more trouble to everyone.
What? We don't think you're in any trouble at all.
If they find out that I'm not here anymore, they may leave.
Well, I suppose that is one possible strategy, but if you're going, then I'm going with you.
Alright. Shimada and I left my room, attempting to leave the compounds from the back. Ah! Didn't work. Suddenly, I thought I saw something fly past me. Then... It seemed like Shimada noticed it too. Then once more...
Ugh!
His large body was flung high through the air. Shimada's body was smashed against the wall. Oh, poor Shimada. Shimada! I tried to run up to him, but then...
I don't think I'll wake up for a while. Chizuru Yukimura, you're going to come with me. I don't want to make a scene, but if you don't comply, we're going to have a problem.
Amagiri, if only you had a route. Alright, I'm coming with ya. Ah! I tried to escape, but it was...
pointless.
He came from behind and bound my hands before putting his hands over my mouth. I desperately tried to shake him off, but he held me down with all of his weight and power, so I couldn't even budge. Where was he taking me? He moved unhindered to the back entrance. The rest of the Shinsengumi had been drawn off by the commotion elsewhere. I could hear the clang of swords from somewhere nearby, but I couldn't see anything. Perhaps if I cried out. Hijikata and the men may hear me, but since he was covering my mouth, I wasn't even able to scream.
Stay silent, and no one will be hurt. Our objective is your capture, not the death of your companions.
I saw Shimada's limp body crumpled at the base of the pillar and bit my lip. What should I do? I need to scream! Amagiri was courteous enough, But I couldn't trust him. Yeah, you could, but we're not going to. He'd broken into the temple to kidnap me. Hardly the actions of an honorable man. He's under duress. If I let him take me, I didn't think I'd ever escape. Why didn't I scream? Amagiri was carrying me under his arm and had come to the main street. Although the street was normally bustling with activity during afternoons, it was quiet now. Help me! Anybody! I hoped with all my heart that someone would hear me and maybe even run to my aid.
What are you?
He moved to cover my mouth, but it was too late.
Hey, what's going on here? Are you...
Heisuke! I was hoping Sakamoto would come out, but nah, in Heisuke's route this is what happens too. I can't believe Heisuke is here. I felt surprised, but immediately thankful for this unbelievably good luck.
Chizuru, what are you doing here?
Can't you see what's happening? Heisuke, please help me!
And you're the guy from Ikeda.
Heisuke took out his sword and pointed it toward Amagiri.
Didn't think I'd run into you again so soon. We've got a debt to settle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember.
There was nothing mocking in his tone, only perfectly honest confusion. He had no idea what Heisuke was talking about. That's just how notable you are to him, Heisuke. Unfortunately, that only made Heisuke angrier.
Don't tell me you forgot. You gave me that scar at the Ikeda Inn.
Oh yes, I remember. I'm glad to see you're doing all right.
God damn it. Stop making fun of me. You're not going to get off so easily this time.
Heisuke's sword shot out in a strike a normal swordsman would never be able to parry, let alone avoid, but Amagiri dodged it easily, even holding me.
What?
We needed to waste time fighting. It seems clear you haven't improved since we last met.
Shut it! I never give up!
He brought his sword down in a powerful chop, then jerked it back up in a second strike.
You're foolish.
Amagiri dodged both.
Arrgh!
Heisuke swiftly made distance, and they faced one another again.
Damn it! I can't hit him!
Oh! The reason he was so frustrated wasn't because he was missing, it was because he couldn't hit Amagiri without possibly hitting me as well. I was keeping him from doing his best. I can't just do nothing. What could I do to help him? But how?
No time to think. I gotta do something. Yeah!
He leapt forward again, his sword hissing back. Back and forth in shining arcs. I tried hard to twist and put my own arms and legs in the way of Amagiri's. Sorry, Amagiri. Amagiri faltered for a second. I didn't let that opportunity pass me by, and I hung on Amagiri's arm. Now's your chance, Heisuke! I'll hold him, so stab him along with me. Heisuke's eyes grew wide. Don't worry, I won't get injured, so hurry! Heisuke's eyes burned with intensity. Then... I saw blood spew from Amagiri's arm. I broke free, so I ran up to Heisuke.
That was absolutely crazy, you know.
You've done it. Interesting.
Amagiri's arm seemed to be gravely injured. He was holding his left arm, and you could see his crimson blood trickle freely down the flesh. For a demon, I was sure that his injury would heal in no time. But in the moment, Heisuke looked to have the advantage. But just then... a sound of a whistle resounded from a little distance away. I assume people heard me screaming from earlier.
We've drawn too much attention. I'll retreat. For now.
Hey, wait!
Heisuke tried to run after him, but Amagiri disappeared into the darkness. I was finally set free, and relief washed over me.
Are you alright, Chizuru? Your injury.
And there we're going to go ahead and stop. A good play. Well, I mean, not like there was much left to the scene anyway, but it's going to add minutes still, and I'm already over. Aw, didn't have quite as much Sakamoto in here as I would have liked, but at least we had some. Still good enough to be called his route in these videos. We're like halfway through chapter 4 now. Alright, so hope to see you for that next video or in some of my others. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.